All right. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is September 24th. That was Bjork, possibly, maybe, as the intro music for today. It's funny, the other day, I always get, like, copyright, notices on, YouTube. Most of the time, knock on wood, very rarely do you get a copyright strike or copyrights. Very rarely do you have to actually cut something out. Last time I had it done was an SNL skit when I was covering Lamash 2, because they did a whole Lamash 2 SNL skit. Go check that episode out. If you check it out on Spotify, it's unedited. The other day was the first time that I ever had an issue on Spotify, where Spotify was like, hey, you use licensed music. Do you want us to remove this episode? So I had to go back on YouTube, edit it on YouTube, and then re-download it off of YouTube, put it back on Spotify, delete the old one. Yeah, and it was MIA, missing in action, Paper Planes. I was like, really? And it just, I don't know, it kind of bugs me, because it's like, a lot of the music that I use for intros are like older songs, for one. And two, it's like, podcasting is basically the new talk radio. There's not really a difference between podcasting and talk radio. The only difference is with podcasting, there's more freedom, there's less time constraints. So it's like, you would think that bands would be like, hey, these people are using our music, and it's not even the full song, it's like 30 seconds of the song. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and play the full song, and I don't know, if I had a band, I would be like, yeah, use it. Like, that's giving me, it's basically a free commercial, I don't know. It's weird. I don't get it, because I used to be in a band, and I would have loved for someone to come up to me and be like, hey, can I use this song that you wrote as intro music? I'd be like, hell yeah. Just give me a cut, And you'll see a lot of content creators like freak out about using copyrighted music, but it's because they're monetized. Like, I'm not monetized on YouTube, so I don't mind that if the video blows up, that the monetization goes towards the band, because I'm not monetized. So, but I don't know, I just thought that was interesting. But yeah, let's get on with the show. So you've, I'm guessing, seen the title. And in the intro, I told you guys it was September 24th. We survived the rapture. So, I've done an episode pretty similar to this. If you're listening on Spotify, I'll put it in the related episodes below so you can go check it out. It was just kind of like, I was going on this spiel about Kim Clement, Trey Smith, which I love Trey Smith. And I have no beef against Kim Clement. First of all, I try not to speak ill of the dead. But there is like this huge obsession, and I'll try not to go down too much of a rabbit hole of Kim Clement, because I've already talked about him quite a bit. But the episode, go check it out. It's like Kim Clement, Trey Smith, The Great Flood, something along those lines. I kind of went on a huge rant. Nostradamus. It was like a 2-part episode that I just kind of ranted on different shit. Basically, my thoughts on prophecy. So, as many of you all know, if you're longtime listeners, I am an occultist. And that freaks a lot of the Christian conservative audience off, because they don't know what the word occult means. It means hidden. It is someone who studies and or practices magic, ceremonial magic. Now, that doesn't mean I'm over here sacrificing children. That doesn't mean I worship the devil. But yeah. And I do practice divination. Way back in the day, I used to have a company. It was called Jack of All Trades, Tarot, and Card Reading. And I would do cardomancy, tarot readings, witches cards, like divination. I would read people for money, extra money. It was a side gig, you know. So I do believe in divination. Now, here's my thing. I don't do it anymore because I did start getting kind of freaked out and finding, when I was delving into divination, tarot specifically, and cardomancy, I was finding out things that I didn't want to know. So there's certain things in life that you just don't want to know. And I was asking questions that I shouldn't have asked. And my wife at the time was cheating on me, and we were heading for a divorce, and it was just a rough time, and I was just asking certain questions and all that. So I left it for that reason. I still do it once in a blue moon if I have a huge decision I'm going to make. Like, let's say tomorrow I get a job offer. I'm going to do a reading. Should I take this job or should I stay at Clark's, you know? But I have people in my life, like I have a family member who's like a prophet, and he's always like making like prophecies, and like none of them come true, and it makes them look like retarded, you know? It destroys your credibility. And on this channel, for one, I like to base it off of evidence, and I always say like, hey, I think this is going to happen. I never say this will happen. You guys know I used to be like a Q-tard. That was actually the biggest thing of why I left the QAnon movement, was they'd say, hey, on this date, this is going to happen. On this date, they're going to arrest everybody. On this date, Hillary Clinton's getting arrested. And it would never happen. And then the content creators who would be saying it would never apologize for it. They would just gloss over it when the date would pass and act like nothing happened. And for some reason, they would never lose their fan base. It was mind-blowing to me. I'm like, people actually listen to this trash? Like, and here I am struggling to get views and, you know, subscribers. Like, what the fuck? There's like a jealousy there, because it's like people would rather just listen to shit. Yeah. So, and I do believe, like I said, I'm a diviner, I'm an occultist. I do believe that people have prophecies. But I personally don't delve into the whole prophecy thing. Like, if I do, every now and then, God will tell me something or give me a feeling about something. And it's usually something to do with me and my wife and my personal life, you know. I'll get feelings like, hey, boo-boo, don't go out tomorrow. I know you have plans, don't do it. You know, and if she does, she'll end up getting a flat tire, you know, or something. And it's like, I told you. But I don't go on here doing prophecies, because if I'm wrong, it destroys my credibility. And I'd rather not base my predictions or feelings on the woo-woo. I would rather base it on evidence. But yesterday, apparently the rapture was supposed to happen. So there's a bunch of content creators right now who are either making apologies for it and trying to keep their fan base, or they're going to gloss over it and ignore it and just move on to the next subject. So let's get into this whole rapture thing that was supposed to happen yesterday. A little bit of segue music for you. Alright, so Rapture Theory Explained why some people think the world will end today. And by the way, as a 90s kid who grew up in a Pentecostal household, and a conspiracy theorist household, my parents, I would hear about people predicting the rapture all the time. But my dad was he was a preacher, but he was very by the book Christian. Like, if he took the Bible literally, which, by the way, from an occult standpoint, that's not wrong to take it literally. There's actually seven seals of the apocalypse, I believe. And Manly P. Hall said that the seven seals of the apocalypse are actually the entire King James Bible. And you're supposed to read it 7 times all the way through with different mindsets each time. Like, one was historical, one was metaphorical, one was geographical, one was literal. Like, I can't remember all of them. You'd have to look it up. We'll do an episode on it one day. But that was to him like how you open the 7 seals of the apocalypse. Second off, the apocalypse is not a bad thing. It literally means the end of something and the beginning of something new. Kind of like the death card with tarot. It doesn't mean literal death, you know. And also, I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure the rapture was an idea that was, for one, it was Rothschild funded. I know the Rothschilds are connected with it. It was either the Rothschilds or Rockefellers. I get them confused sometimes. And two, because we all know Christianity is a psyop, a means of control. And two, I don't even think it's actually in the Bible, dude. I think there's like one verse where it says something about that there's 2 guys walking in a field and one will disappear. There's a man and a woman laying in a bed and one will disappear. You know. So, a South African pastor's apocalyptic prophecy sparked widespread panic and ridicule across social media as some Christian believers braced for the rapture to take place. When I was saying my dad was very literal, though, he used to say it literally says in the Bible that no man knows the day that Jesus comes back. And I'm sure I'm butchering it, but so it's technically blasphemy to say, hey, the rapture's coming soon, or the rapture's coming on this date. Jesus literally, or the Bible at least, literally says that no man knows the day. So it's technically, you're committing the sin of blasphemy. Which I don't care. I'm not a Christian. So if you want to blaspheme, go for it. The viral claim of Joshua Mlak, and this is an African name, so it's Mhlakela. So I'm just going to call him Joshua Michaela. I know it's mispronouncing his last name, but I'm not African, dude. It's probably Swahili or something. Who says Jesus personally revealed the date of his return in a divine vision. He led some followers to sell possessions and prepare for what they believe is the end of days. So I love this one. If the rapture is coming, why are you selling it? Why not just give it away? Like, I would love a free house or a free car, you know. There was times I needed a car. I would love to have my own house. So just give me your house, dude. You're not going to need it. I'm going to be left behind in the apocalypse. It's probably going to get destroyed by the Antichrist and wormwood and locust and shit anyway. So just give it to me, dude. You know? Why it matters. The rapture is a belief held by many evangelical Christians in which Jesus returns to take true believers to heaven before a period of tribulation on earth. The term rapture does not appear in the Bible, but the concept is largely based on interpretations of passages such as 1 Thessalonians 4:16 through 17 and Corinthians 15:51 through 52. So I'm going to pull that up real quick because I have a Bible. I haven't done this on the channel in forever, so you guys know I've got reading glasses. That I like to use whenever I read my Bible on here. So let's see what the Bible says. This is 1 Thessalonians 16 through 17. And by the way, man, I always, this is my main Bible. There's notes in here about tons of different shit. Fucking BIP classes I took where we had to read the Bible, Nephilim, anything I find interesting in the Bible, because it actually is an interesting book. Now the Lord of peace himself give you peace always by all means. The Lord be with you all. This is the second letter to Paul to the Thessalonians. Yeah, it says 1 Thessalonians. Okay. The solution of Paul with mine own hand, which is the token to every epistle I write. This is chapter... I'm on the wrong chapter. Am I in the wrong book? There's no chapter 4. It says 1 Thessalonians. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. Chapter 4. Let me restart. Sorry about that. I didn't realize I was in the sequel. I guess Thessalonians was so good he wrote 2. 16. Chapter 4, verse 16 and 17. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout. With the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God. And the dead in Christ shall rise first. So zombies. Hell yeah, dude. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. So there's one chapter or 2 verses right there that are the rapture. So let's see the other 2. And by the way, since I'm finding the next one, it's in Corinthians, which is pretty close, I believe. We did a whole episode on the rapture. I'll have to find it, and I'll link it below in Spotify or whatever. It was my mom's thoughts on the rapture, and just my thoughts in general on people giving up with life and not giving a damn anymore because they think the rapture's coming. So they just kind of become black-pilled in a weird way, in an unhealthy way, in my opinion. But let me find the next verse and we'll read it. I'll put it in the links below if you're listening on Spotify. So 51 and 52, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Hopefully I got it right. Yeah, 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Behold, I knew you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. So, to me, this sounds more like shifting into another dimension, if you're a multi-dimension kind of guy. But also, it reminds me of all those trumpet sounds in the skies. Do you guys remember that? We've covered it in passing. We've never done a full episode on it, but do you guys remember that phenomenon? And it's still been happening here lately. It is kind of creepy. As someone who used to be a Christian, I ain't gonna lie, dude, it kind of freaks me out a little bit, because of the mental brainwashing that I grew up with. So let's get back to this. The phenomenon, which has gained momentum through TikTok, of course. You guys know my feelings about TikTok. Under the hashtag Rapture Talk, centers around Michaela's assertion that the rapture, when faithful Christians will be taken up to heaven, will align with the Jewish holiday Rosh Hashanah, which falls on September 23rd and 24th this year. So technically, today's the 24th. If you're listening to this on the 24th, we are in Rosh Hashanah. I actually don't even know what that holiday is about. So, the prediction has prompted a wide range of reactions. Maybe we'll look into it if we have time. From genuine spiritual anticipation to open skepticism from religious scholars and mainstream pastors. So, Michaela first shared his prophecy in an interview with Sintwins TV and on YouTube. So it was on YouTube, claiming that Jesus appeared to him and declared he would come to take my church on September 23rd or 24th. Uh-oh. Today's the 24th. So, we still have technically one more day. I might miss the rapture. Which, if you guys know, I don't want to go to heaven. I did a whole episode on how I don't want to go to heaven. Aligning with Rosh Hashanah, the new year. So, by the way, there is, like I said, some jealousy, man, that people actually, it was big enough that, like, there's content creators talking about it, fucking articles written about it, and it makes me jealous. It's like, dude, I think I put out good podcast episodes. I talk about cool shit, I think, relevant shit, but some maniac who says that Jesus spoke to him is probably getting thousands of views. Like, I'm jealous. This assertion, though not grounded in any definitive scriptural timeline, resonated widely, particularly among evangelical TikTok users. Some pointed to signs in Revelation 12 and various astrological alignments involving the constellations Virgo and Leo as evidence the prophecy was being fulfilled. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that shit happened like years ago, like in 2016 or 2017. Because I remember Secure Team 10, back when I used to watch him, was reporting on it, and same with Third Phase of Moon. I think both of them were reporting on it back when I used to watch them, you know. Both of them have been caught kind of hoaxing shit. The viral spread of Michaela's prediction has been met with both belief and backlash. So obviously backlash from this channel. You know, TikTok creator Sanja at Sanj779 posted rapture trip tips. Like it's like a vacation. Here's tips for your trip to heaven. Encouraging viewers to buy new underwear so their last impression isn't an old pair. Yeah, and it better be like some protective Mormon underwear, because if Jesus sees that you're wearing a fucking thong, he's gonna be pissed, you know. Oh, I forget though, like if you watch Left Behind, like the clothes gets left behind folded nicely. So I see now. I mean, like if I got left behind, I wouldn't want to like see, you know, my mother's lingerie sitting on the floor. So yeah, I get it. Buy new underwear. Buy something nice, you know, and not sexy. This is so ridiculous, and people believe this shit. What people are saying. Joshua Michaela, the pastor who popularized the September 23rd theory, said, "The rapture is upon us." Let me see if I can do an African voice. I'm trying to do impressions more often. "The rapture is upon us. Whether you are ready or you are not ready, the rapture in 14 days from now is going to take place. There's a storm brewing right now, and it's dark. No human being on this earth is ready for what is coming. I'm 1,000,000,000% sure. I began to hear literally in my ear the sound of the trumpet." Might want to get your ears checked, bruh. Or some CAT scan, because you might have some neurological problems. So he's 1,000,000,000% sure. Tomorrow, I would love to see how many apology videos there are. There's a channel I watched. His name's Holy Kool-Aid. He basically like talks about and like comments on like Christian fails. So I'll definitely be tuning into him tomorrow. He's actually a dope ass channel, so shout outs to him. As someone who grew up with Christian religious abuse, I enjoy his content a lot because I like Christian fails. But yeah, I would love to see how many people are either going to apologize for their false predictions, and how many people are going to just gloss over it like the Q-tards used to do. Also, how many people fucking ruined their lives over this shit? Because I heard, dude, there was a ton of people who like sold everything, like quit their jobs, sold all their stuff, like, I don't know. And this has happened multiple times. It's happened in the 90s, early 2000s. I remember this shit. I wonder, honestly, if it's like a government psyop, if they're like, hey, let's put a plant in the Christian community. Not that most of the Christian community are probably plants anyways. And get everyone to sell their shit and just to cause chaos, you know? Quit their jobs, you know, leave their wives, like whatever, dude. Let's ruin people's lives for fun, you know? And then the rapture never happens. Sounds good, my lord. Let's send in Michaela from Africa. While the rapture has not materialized despite numerous historical predictions, and its allure remains potent for some believers, especially when bolstered by perceived celestial and scriptural signs. So yeah, Michaela, dude. Let's look at the comments section since we got a little extra time. So this is Christo-fascist. Oh no, not the rapture. To all believers, I will gladly look after all your worldly possessions. Just sign over all legal ownership to me and me alone. Right now, before it's too late. You can't take it with you. That's what I'm saying, dude. Why are they selling it too? Because you can't take the money with you. So just give it to me, man. Give it to me. I need a house. I'm living in a trailer right now. Come on. Donate to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, you know. The link's in the description below. Buy me a coffee. If you believe in the rapture that it's going to happen today, send me $1,000. Come on, don't be selfish. Share the wealth. The Resistance says, and what do these prophets always say after nothing happens? Nothing. They just come up with a new date, and all the dips begin looking forward to that date. Exactly. I compared QAnon to Christianity like a billion fucking times. Anytime I've talked about QAnon, it reminded me of Christianity, of like, I have heard my entire life, I'm 33 years old, on how Jesus is coming back. My whole life. You know, my mom still, like, the last time I talked to her, she's like, I was talking to her about, like, just how concerned I was with COVID. I was going to lose my job. And she's like, just take the vaccine. Why won't you just do it? You're going to lose everything over this? I'm like, yeah. Like, I don't think you get how serious this is. But she's like, I'm not worried about it. Jesus is coming back, you know. She was still. And I honestly, I kind of pissed her off. But I was like, I genuinely was asking. I'm like, Mom, can I ask you something? Like, and I won't tell any of my other brothers because she wants us all to be Christian, you know. I'm like, you can be honest with me. I won't tell any of them, I swear. I was like, do you actually believe in, like, the whole Jesus, Christianity, like, rapture thing? And it was honestly kind of creepy. And she's like, yeah, I really believe this stuff. Because a part of me, the older I'd gotten, I was like, well, maybe she just believes in, like, Christian values, but she doesn't actually believe, like, you know how, like, a lot of Catholics are like that? They're like, oh, I'm Catholic, but I don't really practice, you know? So I thought maybe it was kind of like that. And she's like, no, I really believe this. And I just kind of got goosebumps because it's like, oh, I'm like legit talking to, like, a crazy person. Like, it was creepy, dude. I'm like, she really believes Jesus is going to come back in the clouds and, like, take her with him. Okay, you know, but she doesn't know about Project Bluebeam either. Like, if the rapture does happen, it's going to be fucking Bluebeam. It's going to be a hologram in the sky, you know, kind of like the aliens. Sorry to burst y'all's little pop bubble. Just like the politicians and the economy forecasters. This is like the 1000th rapture prediction. It's getting tedious. I think it's hilarious. It's free content, you know, but there's some of the comments. New undies. I'm going commando. That was a thought of mine too. But then everyone would know, like, you go commando and they go, ew, why has everyone else got folded underwear on the ground except for Abe over there? There you go. So I could be wrong. I could be wrong. The rapture could happen today. And if you're left behind like me, join the club, man. I don't want to go to heaven anyways. It sounds fucking boring. Why would I want to hang out with my grandma for eternity? And everything's perfect. I don't want everything to be perfect. The part of life that keeps life not boring is imperfections, you know? Difficulty. It's kind of like playing a video game. If you could just beat a video game in 2 seconds, what's the point in playing it? You gotta lose here and there, you know? I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to sell everything to me, I got a link in the description below. Buy me a coffee. If you believe the rapture's coming, just donate all your money into that, please. Please. I'm going to need it for the apocalypse. Bye, guys.